Hello guys, how are you today? I hope you're good. On this video, we're going to look at string in Python. How can we use string? What is string in Python? This video is for beginners. I know there are a lot of people out there, they are already familiar with string, even variables. Yeah, if you check my previous video, we talked about variables. But I would still want you to pay attention to this video. We're going to talk about string, like I said earlier, and also characters of index. That character of index is very important. During online exams, going for interview, developer stuffs, they ask such questions a lot, and it's kind of a little bit tricky. But the moment you practice it, you get familiar with it, you get used to it. So I want to pay attention to this video and practice along with me. The video is yours. You can pause, play, do as you like. Okay? So without wasting much of our time, let's dive into it. So I'm going to declare a variable called cost. Sorry, let's make it smaller. So cost is equals to, for us to write a string, we can either use double quotes or a single quote. Right now I'm going to use a single quote, but I'm still going to use double quotes so you can get familiar with it. Python for beginners. Okay. So here we have Python for beginners. This is a string. The moment you drop either a single quote or a double quote, like I said earlier, and you put some, let's say some letters in between the quotes. That is a string. Okay. Now I pass this string into a variable called cost. So I'm going to print the variable cost. So let's run it. All right. Here in my terminal, I get Python for beginners. All right. Now, same thing applies if we use double quotes. Let's try that out. Sorry. Okay. My bad. All right. So if I run it, I get the same thing, Python for beginners. So this tells us that we can either use a single quote or a double quote. But mind you, there are times whereby this does not work. Okay, let me give you an example. Imagine I want to use an hyphen here. Yeah, Python for beginners. Like either one person or multiple, right? Okay. And this, let's try this way. Okay. I'm with a single quote here. And I want to have something like this. Now, the Python is confused. Here is the beginning of the quote. The Python sees this as the end of the quotes, whereby you have this as an error. So for you to use something like this, you want to make the outside quotes to be a double quote. All right. So with this, let's run it. We have Python for beginners. Okay, so now let's also imagine we want something like this. We want to have the beginners in a double quote. Now, to make it work, the outside has to be a single quote. With this, I get a perfect result. Python for beginners. All right. Now, that you can play with that, just do other things with that and get familiar with that. Now, this one is for the simplest text, just some words trying to come out. Now, let's try and let's imagine that we want to write a message out, like an email, like you want to mail. How do you go about that? Now, what we need to do first is this. We are going to either we use a double quote or a single quote. But this time around, it's going to be triple single quote I want to use. Sorry. Where is my quotes? Okay. Yeah. Right. So here I can say hello there. I want to have it in multiple lines, so this makes it so easy. Thank you. I will be waiting for your response. Okay, so let's run this. Hello there. I would like to know if the meeting is still holding at the same location. Thank you. I'll be waiting for your response. Just straightforward. All right. And mind you, we have single quotes here. We can also have double quotes, but just make sure it's triple double quotes. Let's try it. Okay, so this one from here, I'm going to bring it down here. Okay, so if I run it, I get the same thing. Now, this is example of string. Also, I got some questions a lot that okay, numbers, how come numbers turn to string? Stuff like that. You see, the moment you use this kind of either single quote, double quotes, whatever you pass inside automatically turns to a string. I have single quotes here and I pass 90 here. Okay? If I run this, I get 90. But this 90 looks like an integer to us, like 9 and 0. But it's a string. How do you verify that? You verify that by doing this. Let's check for the class variable. Let's have print type. This that I'm using, if you check my previous video, 1 or 2 videos I've done, you get like I've tried to explain this kind of function. The type is a function that lets us know the type of class our variable is holding. That is string, integer, boolean, whatever it is, float. So with this now type, bring in course. If we run this now, it tells us it's a string, not an integer. It's a string. Okay, so that's about that. I won't waste much time on that. So now let's use, we are talking about here, we're going to talk about index, characters of index. Let's use something like this. Same thing. Let's repeat Python for beginners. Now, how do we check for index? With what we have right now, Python for beginners. To check for index, we use something called square brackets. Square brackets. So now if I check for the character of index, let's say 5. Let's see what will happen before I explain. Okay, we get n. What happened? This is it. Now, this is how Python gets the index. From the beginning of your string, it starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, like that, 6, 7, just like that. Okay, so now the moment I ask for the index of 5, it falls here, n. All right, so that is index, is more than that. Now I can as well check for my index from the negative side. What do I mean by that? Let's say I use -2. See what we are going to have. Oh, sorry, I need to remove that. So, okay, I have R. What happened is this: with the negative, the Python in the index character starts from the end part. -1, -2, -3, -4, just like that. So here is -2 and it gives us the R. That means this is -1. Okay, so now we can as well check for we can declare our starting points and the ending points. What do I mean by that? Let's say I start from zero, index of zero. I use my quotes, sorry, I use my column, and I want to stop at index of 6. I get Python. Now, something is happening here which I need you guys to pay attention to. This index starts from 0, and I said it should end at 6, but it's going to stop at the 5 index. The 6 index is like the termination. It's going to terminate that ending. Let me try this so you can say, maybe you get what I'm trying to talk about. Okay, Python. Yeah, so if you check it like this, 0 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, now it starts from here and it ends here. Python excludes this. So when I use something like this, if you want to achieve, or you want to get Python index character, you're going to do something like this. So you're going to stop at this point and exclude the space here. If I said it should stop by, it stop by 7, this space is going to add with it. Why am I forgetting to remove that? You can see that is space. All right. Now, Python index character as defaults. If I use something like this, is 0, and I don't declare where it should end, automatically Python sees it as you are telling him to, you're telling, is it him or she or it? You're telling Python to start from the index 0 and just finish it up. So if I do that and run it, I get Python for beginners. Same thing if I say it should stop at 9 and I did not declare the starting points, Python says that, okay, I'm to start from the beginning, index 0. Okay. Now, if I decide I did not declare both the starting point and the end point, but I have my column here, Python run the same thing from the beginning to the end, since you don't declare where you want it to start or when you want it to end. All right. So that is index characters. It's the online courses, they ask this kind of questions often. So just practice some. Okay, so let's have this. This is an exercise. Define a variable called name and set it to Adebayo. And when we print name, 1 column minus 1, what do you think the result will be? Hold on. I want you to just brainstorm. Don't type the code out yet. Just think. What do you think is going to be the answer? All right, then let's do it together. So name. The bio. Print name, square brackets, 1 minus 1. Do you get it right? Do you? Okay, this is what happened there. You set it that okay, the index character should start from 1, and we know that, like I explained earlier, this is 0 1, so it's going to start from D, and you said it should end at -1. Yeah, this is -1, this O is -1, but it's ending there. That means it's going to stop at Y. It's going to exclude the O. That is what just happened here. So we just discussed string and characters of index. So I want you guys to give yourself more exercise. Just think of something, get familiar with it, and don't forget to subscribe on this channel for more videos. I will see you again in the next video. Peace out.